Hello, Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we will understand about the xanthohumol, the understanding of the xanthohumol as an anti-aging compound. Because we are understanding the anti-aging compound series of the videos, so found in female inflorescence of humulus luteolus, basically which that inhibit the AMPK pathway. So this is found in female inflorescence of humulus luteolus. It is for short the name hops, also found in beer. So remember about that thing. The best way to consume through hops plant, not from beer, because beer also contain a lot more side effect. Xanthohumol is a prenylated calconoid. So remember about that things. So effect of the xanthohumol we will understand now. The effect on the body, so it is basically the antioxidative. So antioxidative mean whenever the oxidative stress will increase will lead to reactive oxygen species increase, so it will inhibit. Anti-angiogenic, it means it will lead to AKT and necrotic factor kappa B down regulation, and the nitric oxide synthase enzyme down regulation. And the anti-carcinogenic, so it will prevent the cancer, chemopreventive, and antimicrobial and antiviral. It is also the anti-inflammatory. It will lead to decrease the inflammation of your digestive system and your brain, your muscle. A reactive oxygen species scavenger, in this way the free radical will be decreased, will lead to a work as an antioxidant and anti-diabetic. So on the other hand, the improvement of metabolic syndrome and anti-fibrogenic. It will trigger the AMPK pathway, which that will lead to upregulation of the inactivated PGC, P glycogen synthase kinase 3 beta to upregulation, and the phosphorylation will lead to activate the nuclear receptor factor 2, and in this way it will lead to activate to become a transcription factor, and a nuclear receptor a transcription factor which that activate to activate the antioxidant gene activation. That gene will lead to against the oxidative stress and decrease the oxidative stress. So remember, this is the important thing you should need to understand. In this way, the oxidative stress and the inflammatory response basically will lead to it will inhibit, while for without this AMPK pathway and the xanthohumol, it will antioxidant gene activation possibility will be decreased, will lead to oxidative stress increase, and inflammatory response will increase. To increase the reactive oxygen species, the ROS and the interleukin 1 beta, tumor necrotic factor alpha, interleukin 6, and the nitric oxide synthase enzyme increase. So in this way increase the node like receptor P3 and 4, and TXCNIP also increase, lead to complex formation, and the necrotic factor kappa B increase will lead to acute lung injury. In this way, the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease will also progress, and on the other hand, the lung injury and a lot more stress in the lungs will lead to cause cancer even. So if the antioxidant in this way, remember about that thing. Antioxidant gene activation due to the xanthohumol is possible. So in this way, you can decrease the infection of the lungs and decrease the cancer of your lungs and a lot more important things. So xanthohumol are not target only the lungs to repair, but also whole body. So STAT3 inhibitor, basically it is STAT3 inhibitor. How it is possible? Let's understand the whole story. It will decrease the metastasis, the proliferation, the angiogenesis, and the HIF1 alpha and vascular endothelial growth factor, decrease and induction of the chemo resistance, decrease, and the modulation of the autophagy will increase, and immune system escape will be decreased. In this way, the immune system function properly. This is the cell which that's contain different type of receptor like the receptor tyrosine kinase and the G coupled protein receptor. So different type of ligand combined will lead to activate the RAS, RAF, and MEK and ERK pathway. Will lead to activate the certain type of the gene for cell cycle and the P21 and 53 protein for the cancer progression. A transcription factor can be apoptosis will lead to decrease the BAX and the BCL2 and necrotic factor B1, 2 and survivin will be increased. So in this way, basically this is important thing you should need to understand. This is the target gene. So in this the growth factor is involved for trigger this, but the xanthohumol will inhibit this cancer progression and the P21 53 and cell cycle progression will decrease. AMPK pathway will increase, so AMPK pathway will also inhibit and activate the cell repair gene activation, while the JAK and STAT pathway, so for a JAK protein will docking the STAT protein and the same genus kinase protein which that will lead to, it is known as the JAK pathway, and the JAK phosphorylation will docking the STAT3 and this STAT3 activation to phosphorylation to bind with a specific DNA site to improve the drug resistance and the MDR1, ABCG2 gene and MMP2 FAC and a lot more things for the migration and the drug resistance. So in this the STAT3 basically it will inhibit. Why? Because STAT3 is also migration of the cell. So the cancer cell will migrate. So the cancer cell property is the migration. So I hope you make sense about that. If you like my video, please make sure to subscribe, like and share. See you in the next video for this and bye. Allah Hafiz.